Marhaba, that's hello in Arabic. I'm Chef Kamal and you're cooking with Kamal Lebanese style. I'd like to show you the way that I like to butcher a leg of lamb. Since there are many recipes that ask you to use boneless leg of lamb and you need to have chunks of lamb, I thought it would help if I showed you how to butcher a leg of lamb. Now when you go to the market, I always buy a leg of lamb that's already boneless. If you can't find that, just ask the butcher to remove the bone for you. Now, what I like to do, the leg is made up of different muscles, and what I like to do is I'm going to separate it into different pieces of meat for different uses. So the first thing that we're going to do is I sort of just remove this upper portion. This is the leg of lamb, so down here would be the leg. This is where the shank was. It's a piece of meat that right down next to the foot. That's already been removed. This portion up here, this is very tender, and in the center is quite tender, and down here it gets to have a little more tendons, and this is part here is meat that we'd want to cook, like boil in a broth for a while. So you'll find that when you flip it upside down, the fat side towards your board, it actually, you can see the different sections that it breaks up to be. So what I do is I just go ahead and turn this, and with my thumb and my finger, I sort of feel where these sections are, and then you cut away from yourself. Look at that, I've removed, just by cutting right here, I can remove this upper portion of sirloin. This is the prime piece of leg right up here. And then I just cut right along the edge and remove this beautiful piece. And I'm gonna just set that off to the side for now. Now there's like a little tenderloin here in the leg. What we're gonna do is, again, I just pull a little bit with my hands. You'd be surprised, your thumb will just sort of be able to go right down in there, and then once you've made the separation a bit, you just go right ahead and cut right through. Look at that. This is a very tender piece of the leg of lamb. We're going to set that right there. You'll see that you can just pass your hand and it separates from the skin a bit. Whatever you can't pull, just go ahead and use your knife. Look at that. This pulls right away from the skin and fat. You end up with this other beautiful piece of meat. Now whenever you find that you can't pull any further, just go ahead and gently use your knife to cut through it, and you'll be able to pull it off. And here's a whole nother piece. And this piece is perfect for kibbeh bowls or trays or any of the recipes where the lamb needs to be cut into chunks. And then the same with this piece right here. These are the perfect pieces of meat. Now this is a big bunch of fat. We're just going to go ahead and cut this off. The next thing we like to do is we remove the fat. And you really want to remove as much fat as you can from a leg of lamb, because it's the fat that has that sort of gamey flavor. And I like to remove as much of it as possible before cooking the lamb. So we're just going to go ahead and all these pieces, just go ahead and shave the fat away from the meat. You really want to use a sharp knife because that's what's going to make this very easy. And I really remove as much fat as possible. From this piece as well, we're just going to go ahead, keep removing the fat, keep it all over here together. There's a tendon that goes right up the side of this piece of meat. So what we want to do is we're just going to go ahead and cut that away from the meat. You really want to remove this big tendon because it's tough, and no matter how much you cook this piece of leg of lamb, it's not going to cook through. I'm just going to remove these little pieces of fat, and then what I do is I hold the lamb and I go ahead and cut away from myself, and see that I'm cutting the fat and the skin away, and I'm really removing as much as I can, because then you really are going to love the flavor of the lamb. I think a lot of people would probably love lamb, or they'd like it more. Some people say, I'll never eat lamb, and then I prepare it and they go, this is delicious. It's because I've removed the fat. The only time I don't remove the fat is if I'm baking the leg, the whole leg, then you need the fat. Or if you're baking a baby lamb, you'd want all the fat to stay. There we go. So now we've butchered this leg of lamb into these 5 beautiful pieces that you can use. This upper portion, which was the sirloin, is perfect for shish kebab. You can cut this into any size pieces that you'd like in this little tenderloin. These are perfect for shish kebab. This piece of meat is perfect for lamb turbot. And then these central ones, the ones that seem to have tendons running through them, these are the ones that you'll cut into chunks and you'll saute in some sort of cooking liquid and cook them for about an hour and a half, and they become perfectly tender and delicious. That's how I like to butcher a leg of lamb. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. For more information on this recipe and my cookbook, Classic Lebanese Cuisine, please visit us at cookingwithkamal.com. I hope you enjoy preparing these recipes with your friends and family. As we say in Arabic, sahtain, double health.